Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Tiffany, and today we are continuing with your highly requested films in May with yet another CARY GRANT film. Today we are going to be watching His Girl Friday. Okay, so before we get into the video, I do have a few quick announcements. The first thing is I've noticed that there have been a lot of recommendations in the comments, which I love, but I feel like I haven't gotten to all of them. So what I've decided to do was I actually created a recommendation form for all of you, and I linked it in the description box below. And there you can recommend, movies. You can also recommend monthly series, which I think is really cool because I want to see what ideas you all have for future series on this channel. And I also provided a little feedback bar where you can give me some constructive feedback, let me know what I've been doing really well or what you think I should improve upon, just stuff like that. So when you get a chance, check out that recommendation form. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was I'm really thinking about opening a Patreon for all of us. And I wanted to bring it up with all of you because this really is a two-way street. And I just wanted to see what you guys would want to see on Patreon in terms of maybe extra content or, access to the full schedules for the month or for the following month and just stuff of that nature. So if you have any ideas of any extra content that you'd want to see on Patreon, please let me know in the comment box below, or you can let me know on our new recommendation form. Okay, now into the film. So His Girl Friday was released in 1940, directed by Howard Hawks, starring CARY GRANT, Rosalind Russell, and Ralph Bellamy, with other notable performances by Gene Lockhart and Porter Hall. Okay, so on to a quick synopsis of the film. A newspaper editor uses every trick in the book to keep his ace reporter ex-wife from remarrying. Yeah, so that sounds like it's gonna be very comedic with a lot of slapstick. And I'm really excited to see, as always, CARY GRANT, because we love CARY GRANT on this channel. So yeah, I'm excited to see this film. Now, at this point, we are going to get on to some historical background. For those of you who want to jump right onto the film reaction, go for it. But for those of you who want to stay and listen, we are going to get right into it. So this film was based on the widely popular stage play called The Front Page, published in 1928. And Howard Hawks really wanted to readapt it for the big screen after realizing that it had some of the best written dialogue for a modern play. I say readapt because this stage play actually was adapted several times before Hawks decided to adapt it himself. So Hawks wasted no time getting into the screenplay. In fact, he hired on Charles Lederer, who was a reporter turned screenwriter, to help him write the screenplay. Now, Lederer contributed heavily to a lot of the elements in the screenplay, but most importantly, he actually gave the idea to have the two main characters be recent divorcees. And as we can see from just some of the films that had come out during that time, this was a really common element of Screwball during that time because, yeah, they really liked playing with this idea of, divorcees and characters getting divorced. So I think it was a really good idea to do that just because it was really popular during that time. So the film actually premiered at the Radio City Music Hall in New York, and it pocketed $155,000 in its first 2 weeks, which is pretty cool. Okay, now on to some interesting facts. So the role of Hildy Johnson was actually originally a male role in the stage play, but Hawks decided to create the role for a woman after having his secretary read the part of Hildy in a cold read, saying, quote, "It's even better this way," end quote. So Hawks pitched this idea to the original stage play writers, Ben Hecht and Charles MacArthur, to change the gender of Hildy Johnson, and they were totally on board with it. So once he got their blessings, he went right on to finding his leading woman. So originally, Hawks wanted Carole Lombard to play the role of Hildy Johnson, but unfortunately she turned it down. And once she did that, he considered other big-name actresses such as Katharine Hepburn, Claudette Colbert, Irene Dunne, Margaret Sullivan, Jean Arthur, and Ginger Rogers. Unfortunately, they all turned it down, and so the role was ultimately given to Rosalind Russell. So I think it's so crazy to know what actors were considered for certain roles, just because you're like, wow, what would the movie have been like if so-and-so was casted, right? So I just think that's really cool to include. Hawks had already been set on Cary Grant to play in this film after seeing him in The Awful Truth. So yeah, so that role was already set in stone for Cary Grant. And then finally, to this day, this film has been revered as one of the best screwball comedy films of all time. So with that being said, I'm very excited to get into this film, and I'm very excited, as always, to see the elegant Cary Grant and his, you know, his brilliance. But before we do, y'all already know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. As I'm filming this, we have not yet hit 1,000. However, by the time this video actually gets out, we might have hit 1,000. So if we do hit 1,000 by the time this video gets out, this is so cool. I never thought that we would get to 1,000 subscribers, but here we are. Y'all are awesome. I want to take a second to thank all of the subscribers and all of the viewers. This would not be possible without all of you, so thank you so much. All right, everyone, now it is time to get your snacks, get your drinks, and let's get into His Girl Friday. I love how the background is all newspaper. I think that's so cute. They're really so creative with these opening credits, just because I always feel like they're so tailored to the movie. So they kind of tell you a story before you're actually about to watch the movie, you know? But they're just so creative. I wish we did this, you know, in today's day and age. I think that would be such a cute little touch to some of the movies that we have nowadays.
Here, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Even 10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
What did you say?
10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
I like it. That's why I asked you to say it again.
So Ralph Bellamy is the same Ralph Bellamy that plays one of the Duke brothers in Trading Places. You know, the movie with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. When I learned this, like in my research, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is so cool.
How long is it since we've seen each other?
Oh, about 4 months, I guess.
Been seeing me in your dreams?
No, Mama doesn't dream about you anymore, Wally. You wouldn't know the old girl now.
Like I said, there's something about Cary Grant that I think I'm just going to continue this conversation of. He is such a versatile actor. Like, I feel like we're not watching the same Cary Grant that we've seen in the last 3 films. There's like a different side of him. It almost feels like a little tougher or like a little rougher than, you know, like the soft-spoken, you know, David Huxley, or the like erratic Mortimer Brewster. Like he's a little bit like edgier in this one, and I'm like I'm kind of living for it. Yeah, I love him in this role already. Like, I'm already excited.
I intended to be with you on our honeymoon, Hildy. Honest, I did.
All I know is that instead of 2 weeks in Atlantic City with my bridegroom, I spent 2 weeks in a coal mine with John Krupski.
He missed their honeymoon? That's terrible. I would be so mad at my husband. I'd be like, what are you doing?
Please be quiet just long enough for me to tell you what I came up here to say.
Listen, I made a great reporter out of you, Hildy, but you won't be half as good on any other paper, and you know it. We're a team, that's what we are. You need me, and I need you, and the paper needs
both. American.
Oh my God, they're like, okay, so one thing that I read that Hawks did with the screenplay is he wrote it so that there was almost no beginning and end to the next line. And he did that because he wanted to make the dialogue more realistic. A lot of people talk, they talk over each other sometimes when you're speaking just in natural conversation. So they wrote the dialogue without really any beginning and end to the next line. So I just thought that was brilliant, because you really do get the sense that this dialogue is like more of a natural way of speaking versus the polished, you know, I'll say my line and then you say your line. It's just more engaging because it just feels like natural conversation, like you're a part of their conversation, you know?
I suppose I proposed to you.
Well, you practically did, making Google eyes at me for 2 years until I broke down. Oh, Walter.
What?
And I still claim I was tight the night I proposed to you. If you'd have been a gentleman, you'd forgotten all about it, but not you.
That's funny that he made reference to Hildy being a gentleman, because like I said in the historical background, Hildy was originally, the role was set for a man. So I think that, I wonder if that was like an homage to the original source. I don't know. Or it could have just been like ad-libbed, but I just thought that was kind of a cute little subtle way to pay homage to its original source.
Listen to me, you great big bumbleheaded
I'll make
bad
it $35 and not a cent more.
Fuller, are you gonna listen?
Need, I'm
It's
busy.
here, it's a ring. Take a good
What?
look at it. You know what
What?
it is? It's an engagement ring.
Engaged to be married. I feel like I would never be able to get a line out that quickly. I'd be like, we need to retake this like 5 or 6 times so I can get it right. But they just make it look so effortless on screen.
Do you mind if I meet him?
Oh, no, Walter. It wouldn't do any good, really.
Oh, no, you're not afraid, are you?
Afraid? Of course not.
Well, then come on. Let's see this paragon.
I mean, look at him in that suit, guys. Look at him in that suit. He is wearing that suit, y'all. I can't get enough of Cary. We need to watch every single film of his on this channel. Wow, I absolutely am in love with this man. He's so elegant. Like, why don't we have men like this anymore? I love him so much.
Some other time. I'm busy with Mr. Bruce Baldwin here. I didn't hear what you said.
But I was going to say that mine is...
Now, look, what is it with you?
I'm
Mine?
Bruce
Can't
Baldwin.
you see that...
Wow, Ralph Bellamy is so handsome. Look how tall he is. Y'all, the men in this movie, I cannot.
I'm taking you two to lunch. Didn't you tell him, Hildy?
No, she didn't.
Well, I guess she just
Man,
wanted to
this is going
surprise
to be a
you,
really
Bruce.
awkward
After you.
lunch.
Well, hello, Gus.
Well, don't tell me it's you, Hildy.
It's
I love how everyone knows Hildy. Like, everybody knows her. Like, she's so popular. I love it.
The Earl Williams case. Shot a cop who was coming after him to quiet him down. Now they're going to hang him tomorrow.
You get the interview with Earl Williams.
Uh-huh.
You know, double column. Run your interview.
You could do it. You could save that poor devil's life.
Yes, okay, he's like trying to get her to work again to keep her there, but also in that scene you kind of saw, she kind of lit up when she was talking about, you know, how to conduct this interview for this man that's guilty of murdering a cop. And I just think it's kind of cool that we get to see that it's almost as if he's, again, there's like this, they're like equals in this film. It's not like she's less than him or she's like submissive to him. She's like his equal. So he's treating her as if, you know, she's equal to him in terms of their job. And he's kind of like cultivating her love for reporting, and that's kind of what's reeling her back in. You know, it's not like he's forcing her to do a job that she doesn't want to do. It's like he's kind of awakening that passion for reporting and being, you know, in that atmosphere. He's trying to awaken that to kind of rope her back in, you know, to being near him. So yeah, I just think that was a very interesting way to kind of reel her back in, you know.
You persuade Hildy to do the story, and you can write out a nice fat insurance policy for me. What do you say to
Oh,
that?
no.
How long would it take to get him examined?
Well, I could get a company doctor here in 20 minutes,
now
but
you're
I...
talking-
Suppose you have Mr. Burns examined over in his office.
Wow, he literally just said, I will write a life insurance policy on my life if you allow her to stay and write this story. Wow, he really wants her to stay. That is crazy.
I'm looking for a dime.
I mean,
It's Porter Hall. Oh, I'm so
Wilcox,
excited to see him in this
3-400.
film.
How many? 2. Say, take that one of you, Bert.
And that's Roscoe Carnes from It Happened One Night. Oh my god. All these actors that I've seen in other films. This is so cool.
Hiya, Hildy. Glad to see you.
Let's see you. Hey, what's that?
Just practicing for the Williams party in the morning.
Gonna miss a night's hanging, Hildy.
Hey, keep quiet down there.
She's literally so like hungry for this news reporting. Like every single time there's like any hint at like a story, she's really like, ooh, what can I do with this one, you know? I really like that they kind of gave her that passion, just because I feel like it offers a little bit of depth into the character, because you see that she wants to push away from, you know, news reporting and get away from that life, but you also see that there's sort of a hunger, like a calling inside of her that's like, you know, like a natural investigator and has to know or has to get the story. I really like that they added that into her character.
Did he know what he was doing when he fired that gun?
Well, if you ask us, no.
So he starts hanging around the park listening to a lot of soapbox spellbinders making phony speeches and begins to believe them.
And make some of his own.
Oh my gosh, and that guy right here, I don't know his name. He was in Christmas in Connecticut, our very first movie reaction on this channel. He was the friend of the main character in the hospital. Oh my gosh, that's so cool that we get to see all of these actors in these different films. I just think it's so cool to see them and to know them and be like, oh my god, I've seen them in other, you know, classic films. It's just so cool.
Anything else, Doc?
No, that'll be about all, Mr. Burns.
Everything okay?
Oh my god, I
Nothing to
love the
worry
little
about.
slivers.
Good.
Y'all, I am freaking in love with Cary Grant. And I feel like this is now the second time that we got just a little hint of his bare chest. And I'm not mad at it at all. I'm very much living for it. Hopefully one of these days we'll get to see a film where we get to see his full chest. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm so bad.
In case of your death, who do we pay the money to?
Why, Hildy, of course. What about Hildy's old age? Think of Hildy. White-haired, lavender and old lace.
I have a question for all of you because I noticed this in our video Arsenic and Old Lace. I want to know, what does old lace, is that like a term for like an elderly woman or like an elderly person? If you guys know, if you can kind of explain more on that, I would be very interested to know.
Well, Bruce, here we are, certified and everything.
Did you get the check? Is it certified?
Certified and everything.
There's an old newspaper superstition that the first big check you get, you put in the lining of your hat.
Such a lie. Not true. I feel like Bruce's character is so impressionable. Like, he seems like he's kind of like that innocent character that's like so nice. Kind of like Melanie in Gone with the Wind. But it's a little less complex than that. I feel like he kind of turns into somewhat of a pushover, or like he's very impressionable, you know, like gullible almost. That's the kind of the sense that I'm getting from Bruce's character.
Hello, Hildy. What are you doing around here?
I wanted to do with Earl Williams. How about a little service?
No more interviews.
Say, is this your money?
Clever,
Well, I don't
clever,
think
Hildy.
$20.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
That's what I thought.
She's
Come on,
so
hurry.
like, she's very smart. Very street smart though, you know? Like, not just like book smart. Like, she's very smart in the way that she's thinking, and like the actions that she's taking, very meticulous. I really, really like the character of Hildy Johnson and how they wrote her. She's very much a strong female character.
When you found yourself with that gun in your hand and that policeman coming at you, what did you think about?
I don't know
You just
exactly.
thought of something?
Well,
Could it have been production for use?
I don't know.
Like I said in the beginning, I really feel like this dialogue, the overlapping conversations, and really that it's not really polished, it's very flowy and fluid. I really feel like it gives the dialogue, the overall really feel of the movie, a very natural feel. Like you're really just sitting in on a conversation and you just happen to pick up, you know, what's going on in these characters' lives.
Yes, that's what I thought of. Production for use. Well, it's simple, isn't it? You'll write about that in your paper, won't you?
You bet I will.
I like talking to you. Goodbye, Miss Johnson.
The subplot is still rooted in some elements that we still have in today's society, and I think that in that sense this film can still be seen as something of relevance in this time. I just think it's interesting that I feel like the subplot is actually really well thought out. And yeah, like I said, I feel like there are some elements in that story that could have some relevance in today's society, and conversations could spark around that. So for that reason, I feel like that aspect of this film held up really well in time.
I've been looking for you, tramps. I never said I loved Earl Williams and was willing to marry him on the gallows. You made that up. That's why you're persecuting me. Because Earl Williams treated me decent and not like an animal.
I feel bad for her. Like I was saying, this whole story about the murderer, very interesting dialogue on press and media and how that has effects on certain things in our society. I was not expecting that in this film, but I kind of like it. I like how kind of more in-depth that aspect of this film is, just because, like I said, this is something that you could watch and still have whatever opinions you have about, it's still relevant in today's society. It's not like it's something that's so far away. We still deal with it in our society, you know, like media and media's influence on societal issues. Oh man, they are really getting
What's that?
noose ready.
They're fixing up a pain in the neck for your boyfriend.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
A pain in the neck for your boyfriend. That was actually kind of funny. I'm sorry. Morbid humor, but that was actually kind of funny.
Oh, hello, Bruce. You're where? Well, how did that happen? Never mind. I'll be right down.
I still give that marriage 6 months.
Oh my god, they're as bad as like a sewing circle.
I never stole a watch in my life.
No, you didn't, Bruce. I know you didn't. All right, Mike, come on, let him out.
I can't, Hildy. He's accused of stealing a watch, and they found the watch on him.
Now,
But I never
please,
stole.
Bruce.
Good, Hildy.
Now, don't Hildy me. You're going to let him out, or aren't you?
Aren't they in New York? How does everybody know Hildy? Like, she must be... I think this is actually talking more to her status as a newspaper reporter, because, first of all, you're in New York City. How does everyone know you unless you have some sort of, you know, rapport with them? So I think it really does speak to her position of power in the news reporter realm. Maybe that is a little subtle insight right there. It's just showing how much power she has in her job and how much, again, how equal she's standing with the men in her industry, because everybody seems to know her. She seems to be held in high regard.
What's the matter?
I've lost my wallet. And that picture of us in Bermuda.
Don't bother, Bruce. You'll find lots of things missing. I'm not taking any more chances. I'll be down in 3 minutes. We're taking the next train.
But the other thing I really love about her character is she's still being shown as a woman. Like, it's like you don't have to be like rigid. Like, if you're standing on equal ground with a man, you don't have to be like rough and tough, and you can be still very feminine but still show assertiveness. It's not like they're not mutually exclusive. You can be an assertive woman and still be feminine, you know? And I really like that they're showing that in her character. She's not meek. She knows what she wants. She's a strong woman, but she's also not cast in this like rigid, rough, you know, like almost more masculine way. I like that they kept her character very feminine.
But I ask you guys, can that girl write an interview? Now I give that marriage 3 months and I'm laying 3 to 1. Any takers?
I'll take that bet. Hey, it's getting so a girl can't leave the room without being discussed by a bunch of old ladies.
I feel like what's so interesting about this film is there's a sort of gender reversal in this film, but different from Bringing Up Baby. Usually you see in films, you see like women gossiping, you know, at the hair salon or at a nail salon or something of that nature. You see the women gossiping, but in this film you see the men are gossiping. So I just think that it's so cool to see this sort of gender reversal. There's just things about this film that I think are a lot deeper than what I had assumed would happen in this film. But yeah, very, very good so far.
Is that you, Walter? Now get this, you double-crossing chimpanzee. There ain't going to be any interview and there ain't going to be any story. And if I ever lay my 2 eyes on you again, I'm going to walk right up to you and hammer on that monkey skull of yours till it rings like a Chinese gong.
Woo! That was a spitfire line.
Hear that? That's the story I just wrote. Yes, I know we had a bargain. I just said I'd write it. I didn't say I wouldn't tear it up.
She ripped up her story. Dang, that was actually kind of sick.
Hello, Doctor. Sorry to be late. These boys from the newspapers, they take up so much of my time.
Well, what do you say to giving them some sort of joint interview?
Doctor, I'm getting awful tired. Can't I go back to jail again?
Can I go back to jail again? He's like, please just take me back to jail.
You know, of course, that you're going to be executed.
I'm innocent.
Don't forget your pal, Hildy Johnson.
We will.
And when the road beyond unfolds and the...
Oh, the jail. They're breaking the jail. They're escaping jail. It's a jailbreak. Why can't I just say it's a jailbreak? Not what I was expecting at all.
Hurry up. This is important. Give me the desk.
Flash, Earl Williams just escaped.
Jailbreak. Don't know yet.
Call you back.
Williams took the powder.
Went over the wall.
I don't know anything yet. Call you back.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm on the job.
It's like you can take the girl out of the news reporting industry, but you can't take the news reporting industry out of the girl, right? Man, something is always calling her back to this. Also, what a story.
Hey, Mac, any dope on how he escaped?
Maybe the sheriff let him out so Williams could vote for him.
Oh.
A man answering the description of Earl Williams was seen boarding a southbound.
I kind of like how all of them have like different telephones. It's almost like they're like their cell phones in a way. But it's cute that they're all kind of set up on their, like, on this one desk for each reporter. That's kind of cute.
Walter, listen. I've got the whole story on how Williams got that gun and escaped, and I got it exclusive.
I'll send the money right down to you. I swear it on my mother's grave.
All right, here's the... Wait a minute, your mother's alive.
So one thing, Hawks, he was a master of improvisation, so he really encouraged ad-libbing amongst the actors, and Cary Grant had already had some experience in improvisation, but Rosalind Russell actually didn't want to be upstaged by Cary Grant, so she actually hired on a professional to write some of her jokes in the film to kind of help her with ad-libbing. And so Cary Grant, she didn't want anyone to know about it, but Cary Grant eventually like caught on to it, and so he would joke to her backstage like, oh, what new jokes do we have today? So I just thought that was really cool that they had that little like banter behind the scenes.
The profound thinker from New York was giving Williams a final sanity test in the sheriff's office. Well, he decided to reenact the crime exactly as it had taken place. Of course, he had to have a gun to reenact the crime with, and who do you suppose supplied it? Peter B. Hartwell. B for brains.
So they literally gave Earl a gun, a loaded gun, mind you, to reenact a murder for for a psychological evaluation. Let's just appreciate the comedy in that. Why would you give a murderer a loaded weapon to reenact a murder for a psychological evaluation like that? What? Like, that's really smart. Let's do that more. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Benji, come here. There's a guy waiting in a taxi in front of the criminal courts building. His name is Bruce Baldwin.
What does he look like?
He looks like that fellow in the movies, Ralph Bellamy.
Oh, him?
Ralph Bellamy! Oh my god, oh, that was funny. He just described Bruce. He's like, that guy Bruce, he looks just like Ralph Bellamy. And he's being played by Ralph Bellamy. Oh, that's hilarious.
Louis, I need $450 worth of counterfeit money.
You can't carry that much, boss.
No, just a $450 counterfeit. Where can I get it?
Oh, I got that on me.
Oh, God,
Counterfeit
We'll take it
money?
over to Hildy.
They are like terrible with each other, but I kind of love it. Like, she literally like wrote this interview story just to tear it up and tell Walter to, bite the dust. And then Walter is giving her $450 of counterfeit money. They are so toxic.
Yeah, they all chip in.
Bruce, I thought you were downstairs in the...
Kid ever born on a man on.
What?
Here's another feature.
Arrested again? What for this time?
Arrested again?
They called it mashing.
There was someone in the comments, Bespeckled Heroine. You are a freaking genius, okay? Because you were talking about the differences in Bringing Up Baby and His Girl Friday, where there was more of a manic energy to Bringing Up Baby, and then His Girl Friday had more of like a sense of freneticism. I completely agree with you on that point. In Bringing Up Baby, there was more of a nonsensical feel, like everything was really just for comedic purposes, and there was no real depth to the plot, which is fine. Some films are not supposed to have depth. Some films are just supposed to be funny, and it's just a sort of escapism, which I felt like Bringing Up Baby really had. But in this film, there is a frantic energy to the film, but like you said, there's a place for everything and everything has its place. I absolutely agree with you on that, because I feel like the frantic energy was sort of like employed to further this story. There was a reason for it. There's more structure to this film. I really feel like Howard Hawks did improve upon himself in terms of his style of storytelling. Yeah, very, very interesting insight in the comments. Thank you, Bespeckled Heroine, for bringing that up.
Wait a minute. How about a statement, Your Honor?
Sure, we go to press in 20 minutes.
I can't help that. I've nothing to say. Not at this time.
Just a moment, please. What do you know about the escape?
How'd he get out? Where'd he get the gun?
Wait a minute, boys. Not
Ooh,
so
so
fast.
many
Give us a statement on the
questions.
election then.
Again, with the notion that there's a place for everything and everything has its place. There's so much thought in this screenplay and in this dialogue. I just feel like Charles Lederer and Howard Hawks really made something special in this screenplay, just because everything from the fast-paced dialogue to the more serious, story of the murderer, like all of it just really tells this fantastic, cohesive story about life as a reporter and just all the different aspects of that. But then they've also added in this overall plot of, this guy who's trying to win back his wife. So I feel like sometimes when you try to put too many themes into a movie, it just gets a little convoluted and you're like, I don't really understand what's going on. But in this film, it's almost like a puzzle and everything fits into its place. And I didn't even expect it, and here it is.
Are you Sheriff Hartwell?
I'm here. What is it?
I have a message here from the governor. It was a reprieve for Earl Williams.
For who?
You never arrived with this.
Yes, I did. Don't you remember?
Wait a minute,
I came through that door.
He's like, no, you never arrived with this.
Doesn't. Now remember, you never delivered this.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. You got caught in the traffic or something.
No, I came around the
Well,
back.
pretend you did. Now get
He's
out
like,
of
no,
here.
I
Don't
did.
let anybody
I
see
did.
it.
He's a politician who knows how to play the game, contrasted with this man who's like very innocent, has no idea what's going on. And so he's like, you never delivered this letter. And he's like, yeah, I did. I just walked in. I think that there's something so comedic about that.
Hello, Operator Hildy Johnson. Will you get me...
Drop that phone.
Never
Oh my
mind.
God.
You're not going to tell anybody where I am.
Wait a second. This was in 1940. Why is he pointing a gun at her? Isn't that a violation of the Hays Code? Because she's not armed.
You know, if you try any tricks, I'll shoot you. I can do it right from here.
You don't want to kill anybody.
No, you're right. I don't want to kill anybody.
That's what I thought.
Wait a minute.
From what Williams is portraying, he really truly seems like he is an innocent man who's being used almost as like a ploy or as like a piece in a game of, you know, politics and like media, right? This film is a treasure, guys. To those of you who recommended it, awesome. Amen. You guys rock.
You'll get them after me again. I won't let you do that.
Who is it?
It's me, Molly Malloy. Open the door.
I didn't mean to shoot him. Really, I didn't.
Poor Earl, man. I believe him. I feel like he didn't mean to do the things he did. It's just very unfortunate circumstances. Oh my God, somebody's coming.
Hey, who locked the door?
Earl, get in this desk. Come on, get in.
It's false alarm. They surrounded the house all right, but they forgot to tell Williams, and he wasn't there.
I don't know why these reporters are like a character of their own. I just think that every character in this has some sort of role in furthering the story. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought this was gonna be more about Cary Grant like chasing his girl around New York City and trying to stop her marriage. But this has become something way more than I thought it was gonna be. And I am thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed.
I don't know where he is. Please. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm the only one that knows.
Where is Williams?
Try and find out.
Come on, Molly, talk.
Talk. Now you want me to talk.
Sure.
I know. She's like, you didn't even listen to me before, and now you want me to talk about all my secrets.
You'll never find him now.
Oh
Get the ambulance, somebody.
Darling, did you see that?
Where is he?
She jumped out the window.
I know that. Where is he?
Anyway,
I said.
she isn't dead.
Come to, Hildy. Where have you got Williams?
He's in the desk.
She's like, he's in the desk. Crap. Wow, this movie took such a turn, y'all. I thought we were going to have, some nice, lighthearted fun, laughing, some comedy. No.
Hildy, this is war. You can't desert me
Oh,
now.
Wally, get off that trapeze. You've got your story right over there on the desk. Go on, smear it all over the front
I'm just
page.
trying to
Girl,
leave
we'll
and
catch
get
you by the
married and go to
Post.
Albany.
I covered your story for you, and I got in a fine mess doing it. Now I'm getting out.
My God, could you imagine the story that she could get from him? He could explain, like literally, that is the story of the century. She has literally the murderer in her desk. There's the whole story right there. I would just take a second and be like, you know what, Bruce? I'm just going to let you hang out in that precinct for a little while. Let me just get this story and we'll be grand. A fantastic idea.
And you stand there belly aching about whether you catch an 8 o'clock train or a 9 o'clock.
Leave Williams in here.
We'll take him over to my private office. Which is our phone?
That one on the end.
Oh. Hello.
You can't move that desk. It's crawling with cops outside.
All right, we'll lower it out the window with pulleys. Now.
He's like, we're going to get our story no matter what we have to do. That's funny. One thing that I wanted to say is something that I find very different from how we do things nowadays is I feel like Cary Grant is very much an actor and not as much like a movie star or like celebrity, because just in terms of screen time, and this might be really a far-fetched observation, but I feel like nowadays you have, like action heroes like Tom Cruise or The Rock or Jason Statham, like really big movie stars who are more public presences and less so like known for their acting. And I'm not saying they're bad actors, okay? I'm just saying they're more of celebrity status. And so they get more of the screen time, like people want to see more of them versus their acting ability. But in this sense, Cary Grant is very much a popular actor, and like we haven't seen him that much in this film as opposed to, like Arsenic and Old Lace or in Bringing Up Baby. I feel like there's a lot more focus on the storytelling and less so on Cary Grant as Cary Grant. Like, he's not Cary Grant in this. He's just another player in the story. It's not so much about the actor playing the role, it's about the story being told. And the actor is being used as an actor, not as a celebrity. I just really appreciate that about this film.
Here's Earl Williams captured by the Morning Post exclusive, yeah. And I want you to tear out the whole front page. That's what I said, the whole front page out. And never mind the European War. We got something a whole lot bigger than that.
Never mind the European War. Oh, the European War. This is 1940. So the European War would be World War II. So he literally just said, never mind World War II. No. We have something bigger than World War II. Wow. The subtlety in that. I just barely caught on to that. Wow, that's crazy.
For the advertising
Remember, if you
department.
change your mind, I'm leaving on the 9 o'clock train.
Hold on, Duffy,
Yes,
hold on.
I am, instead of trying to phase me into something else. I'm no suburban bridge player. I'm a newspaper man.
Amen, sister. That was the greatest line of this film. She's like, I'm no suburban maid. I am a newspaper man. Amen. She knows who she is and what she wants out of life. That is why Hildy Johnson is one of my favorite characters on this channel. I want to be Hildy Johnson when I grow up.
Duffy! How do you like that? Mousing
Hello,
around
what?
with some big...
What'd you
Duffy!
say? You shut up, I'm trying to hear.
Duffy! It's cooperation.
Nobody?
Duffy! Well, where
This
is
is such a
Duffy?
funny part. So, this screenplay was originally 191 pages. And for those of you who don't know, 1 page of a screenplay usually is equivalent to 1 minute of screen time. So, this film was supposed to be about 191 minutes, right? But because of the fast-paced, dialogue and the kind of overlapping dialogue, they ended this film with only 92 minutes of screen time. Like, that is how much overlapping dialogue there is in this film. It was shaved down 100 minutes. Can you believe that? That's crazy. But somehow they were able to get all of the themes in this screenplay. They were able to get it all into this film and make it something so beautiful. I just think that's so wild.
Oh, look, I don't know anything, really, and there's been an accident.
Johnson, there's something very, very peculiar going on here.
Now, see here, Johnson.
Just get out. Keep that door closed and don't let anybody in or out. Now, we'll see about this.
Oh my God. And all the while, poor Earl Williams is literally cramped in that little itty bitty desk, just being like, pretty much being held in there for a story of the century, mind you. But that's so sad. Poor guy.
Where is Earl Williams? What have you got him? You're barking up the wrong tree, Harwell.
What do you know about this?
My dear fellow.
Where is
The
he?
Morning Post does not obstruct justice or hide criminals.
You ought to know that.
Even though they're hiding criminals and obstructing justice. That's so funny.
What's the idea here? This lady claims she's been kidnapped. What?
Just a little crazy, Mother.
And I can tell you something more.
Yes?
I can tell you why they did it.
Yeah, sure.
They had some kind of a murder in here, and they were hiding.
Oh my God. She's telling all of the secrets.
What was that?
He's in there.
Give me the desk. Give me that phone.
What a break. Anytime now.
I'll count
Oh
three.
my God, this is going so
One,
fast, but I
ready for an
love it.
emergency. 2. Any second now.
Three, up with it. I got you, Williams.
He was he was dying in the desk. Poor guy couldn't breathe. Look at him.
Come on there.
Earl Williams just captured in the press room in the criminal courts building, hiding in a desk. Never struggled, but the police overpowered him.
He offered no resistance. Tried to shoot out with the cops, but his gun wouldn't work.
Break through a whole court in the police. Duffy.
Okay. Hold on. We gotta stop really quick because I gotta talk about this. So what they did with the editing and the dialogue in this scene to heighten the intensity, I really like that, because usually you see intensity heightened with music. They use sounds and music to really heighten intensity. But in this case, it was the dialogue, the fast pace of the dialogue, and then the quick edits where we're going back and forth between the characters. Very, very effective use of different elements to create this sense of intensity. Because I was feeling intense. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's about to happen? Very cool way to convey that intensity.
If you think you've got the Morning Post licked, it's time for you to get out of town.
Whistling in the dark. Well, that isn't going to help you this time. You're through.
Listen, the last man who said that to me was Archie Leach just a week before he cut his throat.
Is that so?
Archie Leach! Someone in the comments talked about how Cary Grant's birth name was Archibald Leach, and he just made a reference to his name. That was so funny.
All the lawyers in the world aren't going to help you now.
Listen, you're talking to the Morning Post.
The guy with the reprieve letter.
Listen.
I was wondering what was going to be like the saving grace of this situation. Let's see what happens.
They wouldn't take this.
He's insane.
What did I tell you? An unseen power. Did you deliver this first, Mr. Pettibone?
Who'd you talk to?
They started right in bribing me.
Who's they?
Them.
So it's like everyone in some way committed some sort of crime. So there's really no way you can pin it on anyone, right? Because if they get put in jail, if Walter and Hilda get put in jail, well, now they have the reprieve. So now they have dirt on, the senator who's trying to get elected. This is a really well thought out screenplay.
The same old act, isn't it? Try to push me out of here thinking I'll be stupid enough to want to stay.
I was jealous. I was sore because he could offer you the kind of life I can't give you. Goodbye, dear, and good luck.
She's like, wait a second, no, not anymore. She's like, I don't want to leave. I want to stay with you.
4th Precinct Police Station. We'll put him on. Bruce, I thought you were on your way to Albany.
He's in jail again?
What for?
For having counterfeit money.
He has $450 of counterfeit money.
Guilty.
I thought you were really sending me away with Bruce.
No, don't worry about the story. Hilda's gonna write it. Of course, she's not quitting. She never intended to. We're gonna get married.
We're gonna get married. Oh, they're back together.
No, not permanently. Just for the 2 weeks we're away on the honeymoon.
Oh, what?
I don't know where we're going. Where are we going?
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, Dovey.
It's always Niagara Falls. What is up with honeymoons in Niagara Falls? That's like actually a thing. I feel like it is because I feel like that's now the 3rd time I've heard reference to Niagara Falls and honeymoons.
Well, isn't that a coincidence? We're going to Albany. I wonder if Bruce can put us up and say, why don't you carry that in your hand?
Oh, such a good film. Oh, yes. Yeah, that was a really good one, y'all. And let me tell you why that was a good one. So, originally, coming into this, I think I had this idea that this was just going to be another, comedy where we were just going to see, Cary Grant running after Rosalind Russell for the whole movie. And it was just going to be like a series of slapstick and whatever. But that was really not the case here, okay? We got like a really well done screenplay with a really thought out plot line. And then also a really good subplot that really meshed well with the overall plot line. Like, hold on, this screenplay was really well written. Wow. And then the way that they wrote Hildy Johnson's character. When I first read that quote about Hawk saying it's just better that way, I didn't really grasp what he meant until I watched the film, and I absolutely agree with him because he has created this character, this strong female character in Hildy Johnson, where the men in her life are more complementary than, like, she doesn't depend upon them to function. She's a very independent, self-sufficient character. And for that reason, she is one of my favorite characters on this channel this far. And then the whole thing with Cary Grant, and not exactly being like the star of the show or the celebrity of the show, he was very much a player contributing to the storyline. And I really loved that. And I think that's just more of an aspect of classic films. And then the use of the fast-paced dialogue. Like, there was a reason for all of this. There was a reason for the fast-paced dialogue. They used it in very different ways. Like in the scene where they were really adding on the intensity, or just really showcasing, the fast-paced life of a news reporter. All of these elements that were present in this story were being used to really, tell the story. It's a very structured film. I thought it was a fantastic film. Thank you all so much for recommending it, and I'm so glad that we finally had a chance to watch it. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. All right, So in the next video, we are going to be finishing up this monthly series of your highly requested movies in May by watching one final Cary Grant film. Now this film is with him just a little bit older in 1957. Yes, everyone, I am talking about An Affair to Remember. I'm very excited to watch this. As always, if you haven't seen the film, please check it out either in its entirety or just read a quick synopsis of it, and then come back with all of your movie insights. I am so excited to read about it with all of you in the comments. As always, I encourage all of you to check out that discussion tab just because I post on there every now and then just in case there's any changes or updates to the schedule. And yeah, as always, thank you guys so much. This has just been so much fun. I know I say it every video, but I just really want to let you guys know how much I really appreciate you as subscribers, as viewers, as commenters. You guys really make this experience so much fun. So thank you all so much. Please stay safe and healthy out there, everyone, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye, everybody.